What's up, everybody? Tom Pelissero here at Ford Field shortly after the Vikings hold on for a 2013 win over the Detroit Lions. They moved to 3-1 for the season, sole possession, at least for now, of first place in the NFC North Division. And as Chad Greenway said to me a few minutes ago in the locker room, if you had laid out there the Vikings are going to be 3-1 before the season, everybody would have said you're nuts. They would have said that there's absolutely no way they get to that point. And in particular, just 2 weeks ago, to think that I was standing here in Indianapolis talking about a performance that seemed to confirm exactly what the Vikings are going to be this season against the Colts, you would never have believed that they would come back, physically dominate San Francisco the way they did last week at the Metrodome, and then on some levels even more impressive than that, come out here, do enough things to shut down the Lions' high-powered offense, do enough things on special teams to make up for an offensive performance that didn't generate a whole lot of points, and to get another win to go to 3-1. It's impressive on a number of different levels. Let's start with the defense here. You had so many occasions over the past couple of seasons, and really in particular last season, where in big spots they couldn't come up with a play. Today, how many times did a defensive player step up at the most important moment, whether that's Everson Griffin getting the sack on fourth down, Harrison Smith jarring the ball loose from Calvin Johnson in the end zone? Yeah, the Lions gave away some opportunities as well, dropped some balls. I can't even count how many times Matthew Stafford hit somebody in the hands and the ball came out of his hands. You just had a variety of different things that the Lions didn't do well, but part of it was being forced by the Vikings. No, they didn't get really consistent pressure, but the coverage was pretty solid on the back end. At times there was a little bit of pressure on Stafford. He wasn't moving all that well back there. I don't know if that was the injury or if it was just the fact that he wasn't seeing a whole lot of guys open downfield. Whatever it was, the defense put together a really complete performance. We know the Lions are not going to run the football pretty well, no matter what LaShore did last week. Scott Linehan's obsessed with the shotgun draws. They weren't going anywhere the entire day. They get the 4th-and-1 stop in a key moment. So many times somebody stepped up, made a big play for the Vikings in this game. That's a really positive step forward when you think of all the things that went wrong. They did the things in past years on defense in particular. They did the things that bad teams do to lose football games. Today, they did a lot of things that good teams do. On the special teams front, clearly, you set up a bounce return to Percy Harvin. It's blocked perfectly. Harvin's not even close to being touched, has to make basically one cut. They saw some things on tape. They put that in specifically for the game plan. That hits big. Marcus Sherrills breaks several tackles, including one right at the point, and goes long for a punt return touchdown. But in both halves, you took the pressure off the offense immediately by putting points on the board before they even had to take the field. And on a day like this, you had to pick up the offense. Some people were saying on Twitter to me that the offense sucked today. They didn't suck. It was not a resounding failure. If you look at the fact that they ran the ball for 4.5 yards a carry in this game, and also that they had 29 minutes of possession in this game, what you had was, once you were staked to a 14-point lead and you're running the ball that effectively, why were you going to try to take shots down the field? One of the things the Vikings have done really well offensively that helps the defense is not turn the football over. They weren't going to take a ton of risks. They did throw the ball downfield. Jerome Simpson got a couple of calls in man-covered situations. Defensive pass interference penalties, both of those set up field goals in the game. Comes up with one catch later on. It certainly was not anything close to what I'd say is an effective offensive performance, but they did enough things well to keep things moving and not put the defense in tough spots. You have different phases of the game, different phases of the team picking up the other phases. They find a way to get a win here. There's nobody who's going to sit down there and say that they played a really great game today, but they made enough plays. And that's a huge thing in the NFL. It doesn't necessarily have to be the team that's best for 60 minutes. It's the team that makes those explosive plays, or the team that fails to. When you look at the things that went wrong for the Lions in this game, too, to come in here, maybe you're catching the Lions at the right time, maybe you got the 49ers at the right time. Maybe in both cases you didn't take that team's best punch, but they're now sitting there 3-1, heading home for 3 of their next 4, including next week against Tennessee, and all of a sudden, against better judgment, and even knowing that they're still young and that they got some other things they've got to fix, there's no choice. You have to look at this Vikings team and all of a sudden say, are they going to end up in an honest-to-goodness pennant race come November and December? It'll be a lot more interesting to watch than last year. I'm headed back to the airport in like 10 minutes here. I'll be back out there to watch the tape tomorrow, and of course at Winter Park. Judd will be out there as well. Full Vikings coverage, as always, at 1500ESPN.com. We'll see you.